Okay, so let's talk about fighting. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a loop, having the same exact fight over and over again with someone you love? Well, today, we're going to flip the script on how you see those arguments. We're going to uncover the real reasons we fight, and I promise you, it's almost never about what you think it's about. Let's get into it.
You know the feeling, right? We have all been there. That huge, epic blow-up that just seems to erupt out of absolutely nowhere. And it's all because of like a dirty dish in the sink or a pair of shoes left in the hallway. It feels so ridiculous later, but trust me, there's a really powerful psychological reason this keeps happening.
And it has a name. It's called the fundamental attribution error. Now, I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but the idea itself is actually super simple. It basically says that when other people do something, we tend to blame their character. But when we do the exact same thing, we blame our circumstances. You know, like when someone else cuts you off in traffic, you think, what a total jerk. But when you cut someone off, whoops, sorry, I'm just really late for a meeting. See the difference?
This right here breaks it down perfectly. When I'm late, it's because, there was crazy traffic, my boss held me up, a million legitimate reasons that were totally out of my control. But when you're late, it's because you're inconsiderate, you're disorganized, or you just flat out don't care about my time. That is this bias in action right there.
And this quote, oh man, this just nails it. It's the perfect little phrase to keep in your back pocket to remember this whole concept. Mine is circumstantial, yours is characterological. My actions get explained away by my situation, yours are a direct window into your soul. And this one tiny mental shortcut is the fuel for so many fights.
So, all of this brings us to the actual fights we find ourselves in. Because once you start seeing this pattern, you realize something pretty profound. The topic of the fight, the thing we're actually yelling about, is almost never the real issue. We argue about the shoes, the overflowing trash, the closet door that's always open, the cat litter. The list is literally endless, right? We get so stuck on these little surface-level things, pointing fingers and assigning all these character flaws. You're just lazy, you're such a slob, and it's all because of that fundamental attribution error. And here's something that's so important to remember. Having conflict is not a sign that your relationship is broken. It is a totally normal, honestly, it's a necessary part of being close to another human being. The problem isn't that we fight, the real problem is that we don't understand why we're fighting in the first place. So this is the question that can change everything. If the fight isn't really about the shoes or the trash or the cat litter, then what is it about? What are we so desperately trying to get from the other person when we're in the middle of that argument?
Well, it turns out that almost every single conflict, no matter how tiny or silly it seems on the surface, isn't just some random explosion. It's a fight for one of just 3 fundamental, core human needs. Just 3. And here they are. We fight for care and closeness. We fight for respect and recognition. And we fight for power and control. These are the real stakes hiding just beneath the surface of all those little everyday arguments.
Let's just unpack this a little. When we're fighting for care and closeness, the real, unspoken question is, do you have my back? Can I really count on you? A fight for respect and recognition is secretly asking, do you even see me? Do you value what I do? Think about a fight over who does more housework. It's not about the dishes, it's about feeling unappreciated. And a fight for power and control, well, that boils down to, whose needs are going to win here, mine or yours?
Now, to see how this plays out in the real world, I want to tell you a story. It's a story about a closet, and it perfectly shows how a fight that seems completely mundane is actually about these deep, powerful hidden needs.
So the fight kicks off right here. She's upset that he keeps leaving this one closet door open. And he just pushes back, super defiant, basically refusing to do this simple thing. On the surface it sounds so petty, it's almost nonsensical. But let's look at what's really happening underneath.
To really get this fight, you have to look at their hidden histories. He grew up with this really overbearing dad who controlled his every move. So his entire adult life has been built on this one core principle. Nobody is ever going to be the boss of me again. She, on the other hand, grew up having to take care of everybody else, which created this deep-seated fear that she will always be left alone, unsupported. And right here, this is the tragic disconnect. When she asks him to close the closet, he's not fighting about a door. He is fighting for power and control. In his mind, he's fighting his father, screaming internally, "Nobody will control me." But she doesn't hear any of that. All she hears is a complete lack of care. She hears, "Your needs don't matter, you're on your own," which just confirms her absolute deepest fear, "I am alone in this forever." And isn't that just it? It's so unbelievably easy to get lost in the details. We get stuck arguing about the literal closet, the literal cat litter, and we completely miss the huge, profound emotional drama that's playing out right underneath our noses. It's phenomenal, really. So how in the world do we break this cycle? Well, the answer is in making a crucial shift. We can change the entire dynamic of our fights just by asking ourselves a different question. One that moves us away from the trivial stuff and towards what's really essential.
So instead of asking, what am I fighting about? The shoes, the closet, all those messy details. Ask yourself this, what am I fighting for? Am I fighting for a sense of care? Am I fighting to feel respected? Am I fighting for a little bit of control over my life? This one simple word change, it's a total game changer.
So, the next time you find yourself in one of those heated arguments over the unwashed dishes or the shoes in the hallway, just try to take a breath and ask yourself, what am I really fighting for? Because finding that answer won't just end the fight. It might actually be the thing that transforms your entire relationship.